Hi everyone. Welcome to Learning English Through History. Here we don't just study English. We live it. Every week you will hear now simple stories in English, full of useful words and phrases. Don't worry if you don't understand everything at once. Just listen, enjoy the story, and learn step by step. Our goal: to help you speak English with confidence, so grab a cup of tea, sit back, and let's start this adventure together. Subscribe now and join me on the journey of learning English through history. See you in the next video. Enjoy listening.
The island of Sicily is famous all over the world. Tourists come to see the golden beaches, to taste sweet cannoli, to drink Sicilian wine, and to enjoy the warm Mediterranean sun. But behind the beauty, Sicily has another face. It is a land of secrets, power, and dangerous men. One of these men is Marco Moretti. Marco is tall and strong. His dark hair is always perfectly styled, his skin golden from the Sicilian sun. His deep brown eyes are like fire hot, but also cold at the same time. People say that when Marco looks at you, he sees everything: your fear, your lies, your weakness. On his arms are tattoos, black lines, old Sicilian words, mysterious symbols. Nobody dares to ask about them, but everyone whispers. Some say each tattoo is a memory of a fight, a victory, or a promise. Marco is disgustingly rich. He owns restaurants in Rome, hotels in Milan, clubs in Naples, and private villas all over Italy. His empire is everywhere. But Marco is more than just rich. He is powerful. People respect him. People fear him. When he enters a room, the music feels softer, the lights feel colder, and everyone pays attention. They call him the King of the Night. One hot summer evening, Marco decided to leave Sicily and fly to Rome. He took one of his private jets. Inside the plane, he sat alone, looking out at the stars above the clouds. To him, flying was normal, but to others, his life looked like a dream. In Rome, there was a luxury party in one of the most expensive hotels near the Spanish Steps. The hotel ballroom was enormous. Marble floors shone like mirrors. Golden chandeliers sparkled above hundreds of guests. Classical music played from a live orchestra. Politicians, businessmen, actors, and models, all of them were there. Glasses of champagne moved from hand to hand. Laughter filled the air, and people tried to look richer and happier than they really were. Marco entered in a black suit, his silver watch shining on his wrist. Immediately, whispers began. It's him, Marco Moretti. Don't look at him too long. Some men quickly walked over to shake his hand. Some women tried to smile seductively. But Marco looked bored. For him, this was not new. Parties like this were just another stage, another game. And then everything changed. Across the room, Marco saw someone different. She was a blonde woman, tall and elegant, but simple at the same time. Her long hair fell in soft waves over her shoulders, shining like gold under the chandelier. Her eyes were blue, deep and bright, like the Mediterranean Sea. She wore a light blue dress. Not expensive diamonds, not gold bracelets, not the heavy makeup of the other women. She didn't look like she wanted to impress anyone. She was simply herself. Her name was Alessia. In that moment, Marco felt something strange. He was a man who had everything: money, cars, planes, respect, fear. But when he looked at Alessia, his heart beat faster. He felt something he almost forgot existed. Curiosity. Marco decided to meet her. He crossed the marble floor slowly. Every step was noticed. People moved aside, giving him space. When he finally stood in front of her, Alessia looked up. She didn't look away, didn't show fear. She simply smiled. Marco, good evening. I don't think we've met before. Alessia. Soft smile. No, we haven't.
I'm Alessia. Marco Moretti.
The air in the room froze. Everyone who heard the name turned to see her reaction. Usually, people became nervous, sometimes even afraid. But Alessia didn't. She tilted her head, studied his face, and said, Alessia, nice to meet you, Marco. You look like a man with many stories. Marco raised one eyebrow. It had been a long time since someone spoke to him like that. Marco, maybe. But not many people are brave enough to ask. Alessia, maybe I am brave. For a second, silence surrounded them. Then Marco laughed. It was quiet but strong. Alessia smiled at his reaction. Marco, where are you from, Alessia? Alessia, Florence. I'm in Rome for work. Marco, and what do you do? Alessia, I'm a designer. I work with art, colors, fabrics. I make dresses and small collections.
Marco nodded.
Marco, so you create beauty. Alessia, I try. And what about you, Marco? What do you do? Marco looked at her carefully. Usually he hated that question. People asked only because they wanted to know about his money. But Alessia asked without hidden intentions. Marco, I do business. Alessia, what kind of business? Marco, with a half smile, many kinds. Some people say, too many. Alessia laughed lightly. Alessia, you don't want to tell me everything, do you? Marco, not yet. Inside, Marco was surprised. Most people either tried to please him or stayed away. Alessia did neither. She stood tall, looked into his eyes, and treated him like a man, not like a monster, not like a god. Marco, she doesn't care about my empire. She doesn't fear me.
She just sees me.
Interesting, very interesting. The rest of the night, Marco couldn't stop watching her. Her laugh was soft, her movements graceful. She didn't try to be the center of attention, but people noticed her anyway. She was different from the others, calm, natural, real. When she spoke to others, Marco felt jealous. It was a new feeling for him. He was used to having everything. But with Alessia, he wanted something he couldn't buy. Her attention, her trust, her heart. But Marco also knew the truth. His world was not simple. It was full of shadows and enemies. Power always comes with a price. People respected him, but they feared him for a reason. Being close to Marco Moretti was dangerous. Still, as he looked at Alessia, he knew one thing. He wanted her. And Marco Moretti always got what he wanted. He leaned closer, his voice a whisper only for himself. Marco, she will be mine, no matter what it takes. After the luxury party in Rome, Alessia returned to her small hotel room near Piazza di Spagna. She was tired, but her mind could not rest. She kept seeing Marco's eyes, dark, deep, full of something dangerous and mysterious. She sat on the bed, brushing her blonde hair, trying to understand why this stranger had such a strong effect on her. Her phone buzzed. The screen lit up. Message from Marco. Dinner tomorrow, 8 p.m. I will pick you up. Alessia stared at the words. There was no "would you like to?" No polite question. It was not a request, it was a statement. He expected her to say yes. Her heart beat faster. A normal man would ask. Marco simply decided. And strangely, that confidence pulled her closer. After 5 long minutes, she typed back only one word. Alessia. Okay. The next evening, Alessia stood in front of the hotel mirror. She wore a simple black dress, elegant, but not too flashy. She didn't want to look like the other women from the party, who tried too hard. Still, she felt nervous. Why am I doing this? She asked herself. I don't know him. He's powerful, dangerous. But something about him feels impossible to resist. She added light makeup, soft perfume, and small silver earrings. Then she waited. At exactly 8 o'clock, she heard a sound outside. Not the noise of a taxi. A deeper, heavier sound. From her window, she saw a black car parked at the entrance. Long, sleek, with dark windows that reflected the city lights. A driver in a suit stood by the door. Alessia's stomach tightened. This was not a normal date. When she walked downstairs, the driver immediately opened the car door. Inside, Marco was waiting. He wore another dark suit, his silver watch shining. His tattoos peeked out from his shirt cuffs. Marco, you look beautiful. Alessia, smiling nervously, thank you. You are very punctual. Marco, time is power, Alessia. And I never waste either. His voice was calm, controlled. Yet every word carried weight. The car moved silently through the streets. Rome was alive with lights, laughter, music from restaurants and bars. But inside the car it was quiet. Alessia looked outside, pretending to be calm. Marco watched her, his sharp eyes noticing everything. The way she moved her hands, the way she bit her lip. Alessia, where are we going? Marco, with a small smile, you will see. It is not far. She wanted to ask more, but stopped. With Marco, questions felt dangerous. The car finally slowed. A tall iron gate opened, and they entered a long driveway surrounded by olive trees and statues. At the top of the hill stood a villa, enormous and glowing with golden light. Alessia gasped. Alessia, is this your house? Marco, calmly, one of them. When she stepped out, her heels clicked on the stone path. The villa was breathtaking, tall windows, white stone walls, heavy wooden doors. Guards in black suits stood discreetly near the entrance, pretending not to watch but always alert. Inside, the villa was even more impressive. Crystal chandeliers, marble floors, and paintings that looked like they belonged in a museum. Everything smelled of wealth and power. Alessia, whispering to herself, it's like a palace. Marco, come, dinner is ready. In the dining hall, a long table stretched for 20 people. But only 2 seats were prepared, side by side, with candles and fine silver plates. Marco pulled out a chair for her. She sat down, and he poured Sicilian red wine into her glass. Marco, this wine is from my land. Strong, sweet, unforgettable. Alessia, taking a sip, it's delicious. Strong, yes. Like you. Marco's lips curved in a faint smile. They ate slowly fresh pasta, seafood, bread still warm from the oven. The food was perfect, but Alessia could barely taste it. Her attention was on Marco, his calm voice, his gestures, the way the room seemed smaller with him inside. Alessia, you live like a king. Marco, some people call me that. Alessia, do you like it? Marco, after a pause, power has a price. But I always pay. The words stayed in her mind. She wanted to ask what he meant, but fear stopped her. After dinner, Marco invited her outside. The garden smelled of jasmine and roses. The night was warm, the moon full. From the hill, Rome glowed in the distance. They walked slowly between statues and fountains. Marco, do you believe in destiny, Alessia? Alessia, I don't know. Sometimes. Maybe. Marco, I do. When I saw you, I knew. You are not like the others. Alessia, curious, and what are the others? Marco, fake.
Weak.
Afraid. But you are different. His words made her blush. No man had ever spoken to her like that.
But then the atmosphere changed.
2 men in black suits appeared quickly from the shadows. They spoke fast Italian. Guard. Scusi, signore. Urgent news. We need to speak. Marco's face turned cold. His eyes narrowed. Marco, not now. Later. Guard. But sir, it's... Marco, sharp voice, later. The men looked at Alessia, then disappeared back into the dark. Alessia's heart raced. Alessia. Who were they? Marco, calm, but distant business. Nothing you need to worry about. His voice was final. The conversation was over. They returned to the villa, and Marco led her to a balcony overlooking the city. The wind was soft, the night quiet. For a moment, everything was beautiful again. Marco stood close, his hand brushing against hers. Marco, you should not be afraid of me. Alessia, softly, am I supposed to be afraid? Marco, most people are. Their eyes locked. The silence between them was heavy, electric. Marco, but you, I don't want you to fear me. I want you to trust me. Alessia felt her heart beating fast. She knew there was danger in his words, but also something magnetic. At midnight, the car brought Alessia back to her hotel. Marco didn't follow her inside. He stood by the car door, his gaze fixed on her. Marco, we will meet again. Very soon. Alessia, whispering good night, Marco. She walked up the hotel steps, her hands trembling. Back in her room, Alessia sat on the bed, staring at the city lights outside. Her mind was full of questions. Who was Marco really? Why did men in suits bring him urgent news? What price did he mean when he spoke of power? She felt both enchanted and unsettled. But one thought was stronger than fear. She wanted to see him again.
Great job today. You learn new words and expressions through our story. Remember, the more you listen, the more you understand. Don't forget to subscribe to Learning English Through History and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new story. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and share it with your friends. Thank you for learning with me. See you in the next story. Bye for now.